everyone, Lacey Artemis here with another quick vlog. I have a bit of another thought experiment today, or more so posing a question to you. I'm going to run a quote by you, and I want to know what your initial reaction to this quote is. So if you heard someone say the phrase, "If I haven't grown up by the time I'm 50 years old, then I shouldn't have to, or I don't have to," how would you interpret that? Because I've kind of seen two different interpretations. I came across this quote and I took it to my social circle and I presented it and I said, here's what this makes me feel, or this is my reaction to this. And I was very surprised a lot of my friends reacted differently. In fact, quite the opposite to me. And so the way that I initially reacted to this quote, if I haven't grown up by the time I'm 50, I don't have to. And that struck me as the sort of thing. I know people who are much older, twice my age, honestly, who I feel still act very childish and immature. Like they never really evolved as a person. And like, yes, obviously they have a job and they pay taxes, but that doesn't inherently make you a grown-up, a responsible, mature person. And that's why the phrase kind of bothered me, because I sort of see that as maybe baby boomers, how they kind of have a reputation for, thinking like, oh, I pay my taxes, so nobody can tell me what to do. I'm a grown up. And meanwhile, they sometimes can act very, very much like a 5-year-old still. Like they don't want to share. They don't want to consider that other people don't have it as good as they do, or something like that. And when I posed this to my friends, the kind of response that most of them seemed to come up with was that they felt it was kind of more like, that the institutions that we go through, from school to work to whatever other kinds of social structures that we engage with throughout our life, that they're trying to beat the inner child out of us and take away all of our creativity and our originality and our imagination. And they're basically trying to mold us and compress us into these obedient little drones so that we can serve capitalism and have no originality or inspiration whatsoever. And so they kind of looked at it as like, if I make it to 50 and capitalism hasn't beaten life out of me, then I'm home free. And I thought it was very interesting because, again, I sort of initially took it, and maybe, again, this is because I know people in my life, or I've seen people who are quite old, but they don't seem to have the level of maturity and wisdom and compassion you might expect from someone with that much life experience. And so that was my first thought when I heard that phrase. But my friends gave me this alternative perspective, and I thought that was interesting, and it's a valid take on it. And I guess perhaps the reason I didn't interpret it that way is because I consider myself to be a grown-up, an adult, but I definitely don't think that I've lost my inner child or my imagination or my creativity. Certainly not. And I mean, I've had a day job since I was 16, and I pay taxes, I pay bills, I manage a lot of stuff, so I have a lot of adult responsibilities, but I still feel like I can be very goofy and very silly and have fun and just kind of, let loose when I need to. So I kind of consider myself both an adult and a grown-up. If some people think those are two different things, different concepts, and I guess in context of this particular phrase, you could sort of say that. But I do kind of look at those as two sort of very different reactions to it. And this is why I wanted to ask what your thoughts are. What's your reaction to that phrase? Because I'm curious if my reaction is more in the minority or not. And maybe it's more 50-50 once I get the responses. Anyways, I will stop rambling on that because you get the idea. So check out my social stuff here. You can support on Patreon. You can follow me on various social media platforms. And you can, of course, like and subscribe if you enjoyed these videos and you want to see more and know when they're coming out. Yeah, and as always, thanks for watching. And until the next time, this has been Quick Thoughts with Lacey.